Thank you for being here. I appreciate also you bringing me in. Let's make sure this is working. Today's question, here's the overarching question of what we're going to look at today. You are basically doing pretty good. Would you agree with that? This is the audience participation part. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. I prefer a little bit of interaction, if that's okay with you, because otherwise, I might fall asleep. But seriously, you're doing pretty good. You really are. There is no question about that. The real question is, how much better could you be doing? That's the true question. I don't have the complete answer, nor does I think anybody in this room have the complete answer. However, I think as we explore through some ideas at looking at alliance relationships, perhaps an answer or two or three might arrive for each and every person in the room. Part of what we're going to talk about today may be an affirmation that many of the things you're already doing, you're doing correctly, and maybe it'll be something new for you. So let's move forward. I'm going to talk to you about 7 steps for developing alliance relationships. I'm going to talk to you about 4 behaviors for making collaborations work. This is effectively what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about turning your relationships into gold. And in the picture here, we see Big Dog partnering with Little Dog, who they usually don't get along anyway. And then their mortal enemy is the cat that they're bringing into the alliance. And what are they doing? Why are they creating this alliance? To do what? This is the audience participation part again. Cake. Steal the cake. Thank you. And what happens when the cake hits the floor? It's every animal for themselves. Okay, but let's bring this into your life. The idea is some alliances come together for a period of time for a particular reason, and they have a sunset, and there's time for them to close. There's nothing wrong with that. Some alliances are longer term. Some alliances maybe have a specific purpose, but they have an expiration date, or maybe some people aren't going to want to renew. However, there's still value in looking at how we create our alliances, what we do to make them work. And for those of you that are the analyticals in the room, please identify yourselves. Thank you. Just so you know, I've added a few extra slides, so you will probably go crazy, and I apologize for that ahead of time, but I put some more information in this morning, and then after working with your mid-level managers, I've again put even more information in. So there will be a few extra things, but you'll have access to those slides afterwards. So I understand this is a little bit about what your life is about. Are you trying to do more with less? How many of you are dealing with that? And does this kind of a situation create something like this for you, where you feel like you're going from one fire to another fire? Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this chart is probably about as academic as I'm going to get, so you can kind of relax. What I want you to be thinking about and applying everything that we're going to be talking about, the 7 steps and the 4 behaviors through this model. And so ultimately, Spirit wants growth and profitability. Am I on target here? Okay, that's, duh, yeah. And what we're looking at is the various silos and business units. We've got employees that are stakeholders, customers that are stakeholders. You've got various units that are stakeholders, suppliers that are stakeholders, and government always gets into it too. And what we want to do is create alliance relationships among these areas, and they're going to be on the foundation of the leadership, which is you. Now, in California, where I'm from, I am from the land of fruits and nuts, okay, just so you understand who you're dealing with here. We have earthquakes, and we've got some pretty crummy soil. So a lot of times in our foundations, we put pylons in. Now, if you look at these pylons to make even a stronger foundation, things that you need to look at are communication, the respect that you build, the reputation, trust, and mentoring. And that's the friction against the soil. The soil is the economy and the social environment. Now, as you know, or probably know, soil is made up of moisture, organic matter, grain, and rocks. All soil is made up of those 4 elements. And we can equate those to moisture being similar to the economic pressures, organic matter, your Boeing DNA that we're going to talk a lot about this morning or this afternoon, grain, the new technologies, and global politics. This is a model for you to look at. What we don't want to do is see these areas up here. If one area is growing and the other isn't, what's going to happen to the roof? It's going to come crashing down. So we need to look at how do we do this, build these alliances in all these areas. Now, so in your organization, you've got the aerosystems, fuselage, propulsion, tooling, and aftermarket. Did I miss anybody? No. And you look at it, okay, how are we going to make this apply to what I just talked about? And here's your collaborative network. Now, when you look at that, I realize it looks like somebody's bubble bath, but this is basically a network of what you're dealing with. These smaller circles might be the different business units. The big circle might be no. Thank you. Boeing, yeah. The big circle might be Boeing, okay? And the others may be suppliers and customers, and there's situations where suppliers may be partnering with one unit and they should be partnering with multiple units and they don't even know it. Or sometimes the supplier will get into a situation where they want to partner with one, but they have to partner with two. There's a lot of different issues, but the point I want to bring up is in your organization, you're going to have more of a collaborative network than just simply a partnering relationship.